I've been playing Rocket League for a couple of years now, and in those years I've changed many of my settings to see what works best for me. Even though button layouts are very personal and different things work for different people, there are always these standard changes that almost everybody does, because it just works so well. So today I want to go over my button layouts and what works best for me. Before we start out, I want to point out that I play with a DualShock 4, so a PS4 controller, but the buttons on screen will show Xbox buttons, but I'll speak about PS4 buttons to avoid any confusion. With that being said, let's dive in. Hey, what's up guys? I truly deeply appreciate you joining me here for a minute to talk about, in my opinion, the best button layout in Rocket League. I'm going to show you the ones I use, and that's what works best for me, but of course you can experiment with things to see what works best for you. Alright, starting off, we have the standard things: driving forwards, backwards and steering, jumping on X. But then we have boost on R1. I have to point something out here immediately. I play with two fingers up top, meaning my middle fingers are controlling L2 and R2 buttons, and my index fingers are controlling the L1 and R1 buttons. At first this can feel kinda weird if you hold your controller like this. I remember when I started playing, my pinkies and ring fingers were under a lot of stress, but I really wanted boost to be bounded to R1 because it made me a lot faster. But if you're not feeling comfortable with holding your controller like this, I'd say you just stick with boost and circle and put arrow right on R1, which we'll see in a sec. That's how some pros do it as well, so that's completely fine. But if you really want boost on R1 like me, I'd suggest you try to stick with it for like a week or so and see if it works out. I remember when I changed to this, I could only play for like half an hour a day because my fingers hurt. But I stuck with it, and after a while your fingers will become stronger and they will become more flexible, and you'll be able to hold the controller perfectly fine. Heck, it even feels uncomfortable for me now to hold the controller in a normal way. But moving on, we have power slide and air roll. Power slide and air roll I have bound to L1. This is like a standard change that everybody does. Having power slide on square is really inconvenient to move efficiently, especially when you get into higher ranks where power slide is your best friend. It's just the most efficient way to put it on L1, and for air roll, not having a bound to anything is a big no-no, because air roll is really important to have more control over your car in the air, and to pull off some important mechanics you'll have to learn while ranking up. So put that on L1 as well. Moving on, we have ball/car cam on square. Then these are all standard settings, and arrow right on circle and arrow left on triangle. I don't use these buttons that much, but like just for the occasional tornado spinning when needed. The replay is still X, that's all the same. Scoreboard. I used to put it on L3, so when you press your analog stick down, but because I'd sometimes fat finger it, I moved it to the share button. However, for people who are playing on PlayStation, I'd suggest you do put it on L3, because if you put it on the share button, you'll constantly take screenshots whenever you want to check the scoreboard, which is kinda annoying. So on my PS4 I have it bound to L3 as well. And I think that's it. Okay, so these are a lot of radical changes, a lot of buttons that have changed in comparison to the default ones. So I'd suggest, if you want to change to this, to play casuals for like a week or however much you need to get used to it. And don't focus on winning, but try to consciously know what you want to do and what buttons you're pressing. I'd like to finish things off with a big thank you from me to you for sticking with me until the end of this video. I really appreciate that. I hope this video has helped you out in becoming a better Rocket League player, and maybe all reach a Grand Champ very soon. Take care guys, see you in the next video.